Hey everybody, give me 2 minutes. I want to show you a simple concept and exercise to go with it that I guarantee you will instantly begin to transform your playing of scales and melodic lines regardless of your level, beginner to pro. Scout's honor. Stick around. Hey, welcome to Dharma Jazz. So today I want to talk about what the obstacle to playing fast actually is. The obstacle to speed with scales and lines isn't that we're not strong enough or fast enough. Studies have shown, don't ask me for the footnotes, I read it somewhere, that a normal person can wiggle their fingers pretty much as fast as even a professional pianist. So the problem isn't sort of the way the hands are built or something like that. It's that we have too much tension in our hands, a kind of tension that impedes what we're playing. So this exercise is designed to just weed out unnecessary tension. It's really simple, but it's deceptively challenging, even maybe especially if you've been playing for 20, 30, 40 years and have hung on to some, let's say, bad habits. We've taught scales to students, or you may notice when you're practicing scales, your fingers are doing things like this. It's really obvious in super young students when they're just starting out. It can be a challenge to just put your fingers in the right places. And as teachers, a lot of us have let them get away with it. Oh, they'll eventually get it. Well, the problem is they don't eventually get it, and they carry that into adulthood, this kind of thing. I see it all the time. I see it on YouTube channels of otherwise good teachers, cats with great harmonic ideas, melodic ideas, and just honestly a little bit of sloppy technique that can be cleaned up really easy, and I know it would just improve their playing. As once I started working on this, instantly cleaned up a lot of my lines, problems I was having executing just simple melodic ideas. All that kind of stuff, just cleaning it up. Even there I'm still bobbling a bit. So let's just dig in here. So we've all seen this, playing a scale, and people are the student or us, we're doing this, and we're trying to get around, and our fingers are just a jumble. It's a mess. Or playing with like super flat fingers, and before you say, oh yeah, but what about Monk and stuff, I would say, yeah, well, what about Bill Evans and Keith Jarrett and Chick Corea and Gonzalo Rubalcaba and these great technically proficient pianists, virtuoso pianists that do have, because they're classically trained, they've got that technical thing down. You watch these guys, watch their hands in those videos. They're not all flat finger, sloppy fingers up in the air. So let's just take that off the table. So here's the fix for that. The issue is tension. Let's get rid of the tension, right? So it's just the 5-finger exercise, 1 through 5. And we're just going to play it by keeping all of the fingers in contact with the keys. That's all there is to it. Simple, you think. But watch, you're doing this, and I know you're going to be like, oh shoot, a finger goes down, and then one pops up, and then, okay, you got to get it back down, and where's that pinky? Where'd that come from? Right? This is going to happen. It's part of it. So every time a finger comes up that's not being played, that's tension in that part of the hand that's grabbing part of all of this connective tissue that's slowing things down. So let's make those other fingers that are not actually playing notes inert. So this is in three steps. 2, let's say a preparatory step, the exercise, and then it's kind of an advanced thing if we want to get an extra level of articulation. So the first part of this, in weeding out tension, is getting just deliberate control over the motions of the fingers. So I'm going to put a metronome on, and we're going to make, each click is going to be on or off, and it's up, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. Okay, when you can do that, when you've got control and you can do that, then leave all the fingers on the keys. If you can do this right away and you've got all your fingers on your keys, and this is happening already, just turn off the video and go watch something else because you got it. And not a big deal. Click like, subscribe, sign up to the mailing list, and then leave the video, okay? But if you're still, fingers are up in the air, just keep that slow. Keep this slow. Till you bump up the clicks, bump a few clicks up after you got it. You're going to get it that was at 60, let's say. So we're at 60, and then you go to 65, 70, all that kind of stuff. Making sure that your wrist is level. And as the fingers come up, be careful that they don't flatten out when they come up. You want to keep hitting on that magic sweet spot, not right on the tip. The skin's too thin there. We bruise our fingers. We've learned that by now. There's a little pad there, but not fingerprints. No fingerprints. So right on that little pad right there. And think of the joint coming from here when that finger comes up. All right? Not just this. You don't want to bend back too far. Let the whole finger kind of cantilever out. Sort of bird beak style, right? Keeping a curve in it. Gentle curve. And then with the thumb, you don't want to hit this knuckle, obviously, remember. I know we're going longer than 2 minutes, but believe me, this will improve your life, I guarantee it. We want to hit on that same sort of shoulder of the joint right there, of the finger right there. Middle finger straight up. Boom. Again, think of the joint moving from here. Fourth finger, this is tough, I know. Don't force it to try to get too deep up there. Just let it clear the key. That's all you're going to get away with, just because of the way the hand is constructed. And the pinky can come up in the air, back down. Pinky, don't let it flare out flat. Just try to do the same motion with the other fingers. And then as that feels comfortable, up, down, up, down, up, down. Then all fingers on the keys. All right, so like 4 times there. What I would suggest is rotate, do the other hand 4 times, and then move to another combination. So we want to cover all the black-white combinations. Now, some of them are repetitions, so we don't have to do them all. For instance, we don't have to do C and G because they're all white combinations. Right? So we're not going to do G. We don't have to do A and D because they're white combinations with a black note in the middle with the same geometric shape as the A, right? So we don't have to do both of those. Likewise, we don't have to do A flat and D flat because they're the same geometric combination. 2 blacks, a step, 2 blacks, 2 blacks, a step, 2 blacks, right? So we don't have to go crazy with this. But we do want to get all the other black-white combinations. So we're going to do A, B flat, and black here. All right? Now, using all those different black-white combinations will make our fingers have to raise in different sort of proportions to each other. Right? And when we're playing music, we do that anyway. Here's a cool like workout routine way to do it. So earlier I said you don't have to do, there's some that double up and they're the same shape. But for the sake of just like hitting autopilot and focusing on the technique, but also making sure we got some time to build some consistency with this, I like to do the kind of Doknanyi patterns. If you play the Doknanyi patterns, finger exercises, different levels and things. He'll take a simple pattern and he'll modulate or switch hands every major third. So that means you go to the major third, you switch hands, major third, switch hands, major third, switch hands, etc. And then pretty soon you're back where you started. So you get all 12 starting points, all 12 chromatic starting points in both hands with this is really important, a built-in rest interval between each hand. Now, so let me just demonstrate that. So put the metronome on where you're at as far as being able to execute perfectly. And if you're coming up in the air, if you're noticing that, back off the tempo. Make sure you're playing cleanly. So we do, let's see, 4 times. Up a half step. Up a half step. Make sure to keep clear of the black keys. Don't get up and lost in the canyons. At E, I switch hands. Right. 4 times, 4 times, 4 times, 4 times. G sharp. Back to C now on the left hand. E in the right hand. And G sharp in the left hand. And then I'm back home to C. Get it? So we get all that repetition built in. We can kind of turn our part of our mind off and just launch into some gentle warm-up stuff to get things moving in a really helpful way. So what we know is speed always comes with repetition. And that works in our favor, and it also works against us, because when we get used to playing something, it starts to go faster. It just does. We've all felt that. And what happens is, if it's a longer phrase or a longer piece, there are parts of it that are learned or absorbed into the hands quicker than others. So those parts want to go lickety-split. And then the parts that we don't have at that same level, we're going to stumble there. And so we're practicing mistakes. So be mindful that just because in one key feels comfortable and it feels good, don't just let it speed up. Rely on that metronome to keep you honest. Keep in the pocket. When you get the gist of this, when you get the core of it, the crux of the biscuit, as Frank says, then you will notice everything else involving linearity in your playing is going to improve. Chords too, because, well, that's another episode, but it has to do with voicing chords and having control over the various colors inside the chord, right? So that's the key to playing fast scales. It's not try and play fast. It's weeding out the tension. Speed will come with repetition. I guarantee it. Please like, subscribe, follow, share, and comment. Let me know what you think. Take care, everybody. See you soon. Hey, don't go away just yet. Check the description below for a link to my free ebook, The Scale Workout Checklist. That's a powerful practice plan for mastering scales for improvisation. Thanks for watching, and happy practicing.